actually carried out geophysical survey in so many states in the country.
Politically, in 1987, that was when we do what you now call the zero-party election.
The things you use to earn money are there. It's just for you to know how to think of developing them.
Representing the people is you being a trophy of dividend of democracy to the people. The people are the beneficiaries.
The state now, the environment is quite friendly. The foundation is laid for even foreign investors, other investors within the Nigerian economy to come in.
There's this
The struggle for power.
the struggle for power or for recognition in Isoko land has been by political class, one who rather see themselves as political leaders, has also brought some inimical consequences to Isoko land. People say Isoko is not developing because of struggle or political struggle. So there's no one or group of persons who agree that this should come. I don't know, what's your take on that?
Yes, in the sense that where people, it talks about majorly people who are selfish. That if this thing does not come to me, then let nobody has it.
Yeah.
But again, it's everywhere, it's not only in Isoko. But like politics is about occupying space. People say, I'm from this world is in this world, and I should control. But I think that there should be a synergy amongst all leaders to say, this is my word, this is what in this world, but this is what we want for ourselves. Isoko people should be able to say, this is what we want for ourselves. I'm sure that's what you're talking about.
Right.
Not the one of, I'm a leader for social. Leadership at what level, at whatever level exists. But coming together to say this is what Isoko people want, I think that's what you are saying.
Right.
Because if all these individuals who say we are leaders in social place, if of course put all they have together to develop from various sectors, Isoko will grow faster. But in terms of coming together to say this is what we want for our area, that is where the problem is. But I pray to God.
How do we resolve that?
Yes,
So we're tired of prayers. I mean, practical. How do you think we can resolve that?
That's what I said. You don't believe in prayers.
No, I believe in prayers.
Yes,
I mean,
it will come.
but prayer without work, they say, is dead.
It will come because you are not going to be able to force somebody to say this is my opinion must be taken.
Okay.
By the time somebody will be thrown up and his views will be views that are totally acceptable to everybody. So this agitation to say it must be me, sometimes it naturally dies. Because the views of the person who is being located as a leader will be overbearing on every other person. Yes. So if we cannot use force to say let us all of us be under the influence and control of this leader. So well, at all times it moves from one person to the other. But when it moves to you, it's what you are able to use it to do for the people that distinguish you from other leaders.
How can we make Delta State a model state? Model in terms of security, in terms of industrial growth, economic diversity, and all that. How can we do that?
Yes, for the project of the governor, that is ongoing. Why it is not noticeable so much in Delta State? Delta State is not a one-city state. Lagos State is a one-city state. River State is a one-city state. So anything you do in Port Harcourt, everybody will know. So when Wike is doing bridges in rivers, everybody will see that. Delta State, if you do 12 flyovers, nobody will see that. Because one is going to be in Warri, one is going to be here, one will be in Agbo, one will be all of the places bigger than rivers times 2. So it's really difficult to notice what we are doing. If not, the real model state is Delta, which has been judged by records and statistics. Delta State is the least poorest state. Second least poorest state. It therefore means nearly everybody here tend to live above poverty level. Right. Yes, the records are there to show. So it's really a model state. But in terms of infrastructure, because of the size of the place, you're not able to notice it very well. You're like building a story building in a small village. Everybody will see it. But if you build it in a big city, nobody will see that you have built a story building. So that's what's going on in Delta State. If not, we have done more. Delta State has more projects of empowerment more than any other state in this country. And we turn our starter packs to the people and train and retrain these people more than any state in Nigeria. We have more programs than most programs. Of course, you see them, you're in the media, so you see them. They're not like that in other places. But because of the size and Delta State, people are exposed. We don't want to use the word overexposed. They know their rights, they know what they want. So it's not like somebody who knows. If you give him little, he knows that this is little they are giving to him. So that is why it's really difficult to judge. Even though statistics on ground show that Delta State has far fastest developed states in this country.
The governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi, has been called several names. Roadmaster, master, everything you call is master. Okay, he has, within the framework of what we have, financial framework, he's able to create some infrastructures. Within the framework of available finance, we've seen that the governor has created some new universities, the Abo Washko Akra Park, and of course the film village. Now that's what I know. As a legislator, what do you know?
Okay, talking about the governor of Delta State, I have several perspectives in looking at the personality of the governor. I think that the governor is somebody who is blessed, full of grace, and sent to us this particular period to develop Delta State and also to rescue Nigeria. There's some silent points that people don't talk much about the governor, which I think should be highlighted. One of it is transparency. The governor has instilled discipline into governance, like it was before. Those of us who are in the legislature can tell you that there's more discipline in governance than when it was in other regimes than now. And because, like I said, somebody is full of grace, he's a Christian, he has been able to do a lot compared to what it was when he started. God wanted him to succeed and provided the enablement. You discover when he started, somebody was learning how to walk. But thereafter, doors opened. Governor has won more souls, has converted more people to Christians. People now live Christian life in governance. In those days, as I was looked at where people come to misbehave, a lot of things were happening in government and outside government. But as of today, more people pride themselves to say, I'm a Christian, I am a deacon, I'm an elder, than to even to say, I'm a chief, I'm this. So he has brought discipline, transparency, and cleanliness into governance from it. You can see how the primaries went through in all the places. The people who won are real products of elections. It's not when people do elections, you are going to look at the election, you branch Iseluku or and return that you have done the election. It's no longer like that. So it has brought discipline, sanity into governance and the polity of Delta State. The peace that we enjoy today is a reference point to what the governor stands for. The infrastructure and all those things that you see are things that you can really count. That's why I'm saying that there are other points of development that you can't see with the eye, but you can feel it in governance and the attitude of people towards government. So what we're saying here, with the opportunity that politics, the party has provided for him, carrying this over to the national government, you will see that it will be a lot of development. You'll be surprised by his grace. If he becomes the vice president of this country, you will remember today what I said. And we see development and other programs peacefully transforming this country into a greater country than it was before. So we'll give it to him. He's somebody full of grace and is ready to work. And you know the mantra, finish stronger, a stronger Delta. So So definitely he's going to leave Delta State stronger than it was. And by God's grace, the gubernatorial candidate we have were also talking about more for Deltas and advancing Delta. So two great people that one have led Delta State, one is coming to lead Delta State. Delta will be great.
Okay, I'll remember today, like you said. Now I'll come back and tell you.
We tend to play host to some of our social, economic, and political leaders, their achievements, their involvement, and of course their works to the development of Delta State and Nigeria at large. My name is Isioma Adigwe. Welcome to the biggest personality television program, Delta Scope.
You said something that, okay, right now we all know that you are the highest ranking political leader, office holder in Sokoland. And you said also that you don't carry that on your shoulder, okay, because you know it was not bestowed by you but by God, okay. And that sense of humility, did that come from your upbringing? Did that come from where you come from? Tell us about your past. Maybe it molded you.
Obviously, my background as while I was growing up, in fact, I knew my father as a vice principal. When I get to know that this is my father, he was already a vice principal.
Okay.
So in those days, there were really values for education. So morality was a thing that you must abide with while growing up. Then of course, my Christian background also. We are very staunch African members. So from that early background of Christianity and education, of course you know that this one that we're into is very transit. Yes, so you are not wrong to say the upbringing and my background helped in molding me to what I think about life just now.
Okay. And then specific, what happened in your childhood that made you, or what are the things that have happened in your childhood that made you, apart from you discovering your father is a vice principal, but there's some events that keep you informed that you must be.
Oh yes, one, the kind of schools I attended.
What school?
So I went to government college. Government college was a paramilitary school, and while in government college I was a member of Nigerian Army Cadets.
Okay.
Well, that instilled undiluted discipline into me. It was really military for that 5 years. Then I went to University of Ibadan too, of course. University of Ibadan, what it was then, it was purely an academic place of excellence. So those virtues in those two schools helped also to mold me and give me the requisite exposure for challenges in life.
Okay. Well, government college, I mean, schools then were schools. You know, like you said, I was pure academic. Now let's talk about the educational standard then and now. What has gone wrong? What laws could have been put in place to make sure that we don't derail to where we are today educationally?
Well, with licenses given to private owners of universities, challenges came in that sector, which is really the tertiary institutions. Because in those days, while I was in UI, there were periods of strike, which were nationally instigated, so the schools must close down. They're not really caused by the University of Ibadan, but you know. So such things now, if they happen and like what is going on now, you see that the private universities have an upper hand. So people tend to go to where 4 years is 4 years. Such things happened, and the level of those schools, federal schools, came down in terms of acceptability. But nobody wants the child to go and read a 4-year course for 6 years or 7 years.
Yes.
So that also tempered with the level of acceptance of those schools. But in terms of decadence, morals, those first schools still hold their head above water compared to what is in the new generation universities.
Okay.
So those virtues are still there. Well, to secondary schools, if you go to my secondary school, you will see the quality of education in terms of what the lecturers give out, because then it was a school modeled after Eden College in London. So they had the same kind of educational standard then. White people, whites and Indians who taught us while we were in school. But those people are not there. But if you go to government college, if you see the ambience, you see the buildings, you're convinced that once there was a school here.
Okay. There's no man without his family. Let's talk about your family. Have you been able to, because you come from a background of humility, have you been able to pass this to your family, to your offspring and all that?
I have 5 children. The first one is a lawyer. He was called to about this year. The second one is still in medical school outside Nigeria, in Canada. The third one is an accountant. All of them came out with very, very good colors, except the one who went to law school. The other was at first class. So the main 2 are twins. One is doing engineering, the other one is also doing law.
Okay.
So I think that the qualities that their grandfathers passed on to them is also bearing in their lives.
How do you discipline your children? How do you educate your children? How do you bring them up? Maybe we should be able to learn something. I mean, you have these fantastic children doing well. It's not by fluke. How do you do it?
First of all, it's been in the gene. So it's difficult to take it away from them, especially the education part of it. Sometimes I tell people that even if we don't really be able to pass exams, jokingly. So that is in the gene.
Right.
The discipline, I and my wife, we don't condone at all. We don't let go at all. And they know even if I don't talk, there's an age if I don't talk, they can read and interpret the meanings
of your silence.
By talking.
Okay. Okay. All right. So you're winding up now your first term. Obviously, you're going for your second term. Yeah. You won the primary, so congratulations on that. What are your plans for your people next?
I intend to improve on what I have done. We had a shortage during the COVID. So that deficit also, I think, will be carried over. Because instead of a 4-year tenure, I can say we did a 3-year tenure. But for the COVID year, nothing really happened. So while going forward, I will improve on the things that I have done, listen to them more, and thank God our gubernatorial candidate, the major agenda there is more. So while they will expect more from the governor, they will also expect more from us.
More in terms of what and what?
More in terms of infrastructure, more in terms of empowerment, more in terms of all the 4 cardinal points in life: food, shelter, education.
Finally, sir, by the time you leave your political journey, I mean, you've been a politician from university to date. What would you be remembered for?
Just like I said, the things you do while you're in office. Yes. If you go to my community now, you see over 90% of the roads there, the roads that you drive in, the roads there, were constructed by me. Not I'm the contractor that did the roads, but I attracted those roads, 90%.
Okay.
So of course, if by God's grace I continue doing that, then of course, when I'm no longer, those things will speak for me. I will remember it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time.
So much said out there. A gentleman with a great personality to behold, Honorable Ferguson Onwo. Well, to be part of your personality television program Deltascope, it's important you follow, subscribe to our different social media handles right on your screen. On behalf of the producer and the entire production crew, I said thank you for riding with us on this particular edition of Deltascope. My name is Isioma Adigwe. See you next week.